There is something insidious about jealousy. It isn't always loud or obvious, but it can be just as destructive as any raging storm. It lurks in the shadows, quietly festering, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. One moment, everything may seem calm. People in your life are supportive, joyful, and kind. But when success comes knocking on your door, the winds of jealousy begin to stir. They come from places you'd least expect, sometimes from those closest to you, and they bring with them a coldness that chills the heart. You might find yourself suddenly distanced by a friend who once celebrated your every victory. A new promotion, a joyful occasion, or even a simple success. Those moments meant to uplift you now seem to make others recoil in discomfort. The silence is deafening, the absence of joy like a cold gust of wind. But this is not a fluke or a passing shadow. This is jealousy, dangerous and unnoticed by many until it is too late. The Bible wisely speaks of jealousy as a toxin, an enemy of the soul, one that corrodes the very fabric of relationships. Proverbs 27:4 reminds us, "Wrath is cruel, anger is overwhelming, but who can stand before jealousy?" When jealousy enters a relationship, it seeks not only to tear apart the bond, but to uproot the very foundation of trust. It isn't a minor inconvenience, it is a weapon, wielded by those who feel threatened by your success, who wish you to stumble, to falter, to fail. Welcome to C.S. Lewis. Here, you will discover the path to a deeper and more meaningful relationship with God. Before we continue, please remember to subscribe below to stay up to date with our latest videos. Every subscribe, like, and comment helps us keep the C.S. Lewis channel going. Now, keep listening. But why? Why does this happen? It isn't about you. It's about them. It's about their insecurities, their unspoken fears, and their sense of inadequacy. When they see you succeed, they are reminded of their own unfulfilled aspirations, their own struggles. They cannot bear to witness your progress, for it forces them to confront their own lack of advancement. And so, they hide their resentment behind veiled words or hollow silences. These aren't the reactions of friends. They are the quiet signs of jealousy. The Bible offers us clear guidance in these moments. In Romans 12:15, it says, "Rejoice with those who rejoice, mourn with those who mourn." A true friend, a true supporter, will rejoice in your success as if it were their own. But jealousy twists this truth into something unrecognizable. Instead of joining in your joy, those consumed by jealousy look for reasons to diminish it. They may try to undermine your achievements, belittle your progress, or worst of all, become distant altogether. But their actions are not about you. They are not an indictment of your worth or your achievements. No, they are a reflection of their own struggles, of the inner turmoil they cannot escape. This is why it's so important to recognize jealousy for what it is when it appears. The signs are often subtle, hidden behind a veil of indifference or faint criticism. Perhaps it's the distant friend who fails to congratulate you on your good news, or the family member who dismisses your victory as luck rather than hard work. Don't mistake this for normal rivalry. It's jealousy, and it is toxic. It isn't about you. It's about their inability to embrace your success without feeling diminished by it. When you identify this jealousy in those around you, it is essential not to internalize it. Don't let their negativity dictate your self-worth. As C.S. Lewis once said, when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Their actions speak volumes, and you must pay attention. A real friend, a true ally, will not only celebrate your successes but will find joy in seeing you succeed, even when they are facing struggles of their own. Recognizing jealousy early on is crucial, for once it is allowed to take root, it can poison your relationship beyond repair. But you don't have to fight this battle alone. You don't have to lower your achievements to make others comfortable. As you move forward, you must keep your eyes fixed on your purpose, your goals, and your mission. Success is not a competition. It is the fruit of your labor, and you deserve to celebrate it. Those who cannot join you in your celebration do not deserve a place in your life. But what do we do in these moments of jealousy? Do we shrink back in fear? Do we dim our light for the comfort of others? No. We keep moving forward. We press on, not with arrogance or pride, but with the confidence that our achievements are the result of hard work and divine guidance. When jealousy appears, it is not a sign to retreat. It is a sign to stand tall, to continue forward with unwavering faith. Your success does not diminish others. It is a testament to your perseverance, your faith, and your trust in God's plan for your life. In the face of jealousy, remember this: you are not here to appease others, nor are you here to make everyone feel comfortable. You are here to fulfill your purpose, to walk the path that God has set before you. Keep moving, keep growing, and let the envy of others fuel your determination to succeed. One of the most insidious weapons in the arsenal of jealousy is the subtle criticism cloaked in the guise of advice. It is a tactic used by those who cannot outright condemn your achievements, yet still feel the need to diminish them in any way they can. This criticism is rarely direct. Instead, it masquerades as concern, as if the person speaking is simply looking out for your well-being, offering suggestions to help you improve or do better. But beneath the surface, these words are not about your betterment. They are about their own envy. You know this feeling, don't you? Someone, perhaps a friend or colleague, gives you advice that feels more like a slight than a suggestion. "Oh, you could have done that differently," they might say. Or, "I think there's a better way to approach this." At first, it seems harmless enough, even thoughtful. But upon closer reflection, you begin to wonder, why do they always have something to say when you succeed? Why do they offer advice that seems to undermine your confidence instead of encouraging you? It's jealousy, and it's a dangerous game. C.S. Lewis, in his ever clear-sighted way, once said, "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena." True encouragement comes from those who have been in the arena themselves, who know the difficulty of striving and working hard. They don't stand on the sidelines offering suggestions from the comfort of their own self-perceived superiority. They get in the arena with you, celebrating your victories, because they understand what it took to achieve them. When jealousy speaks through criticism, it isn't concerned with your growth. It is concerned with your downfall. It is designed to make you question your decisions, to sow seeds of doubt in your heart. And the real tragedy is that many people never even realize this. They think they're helping, but in truth, they are only serving their own insecurities. The person who truly supports you celebrates your accomplishments, not with a hidden agenda, but with a heart that genuinely rejoices in your success. But how do we discern this subtle attack? How can we tell if someone's advice is rooted in care or in envy? The answer lies in their approach. If they consistently offer helpful suggestions that make you feel inferior, that belittle your progress, then you are dealing with jealousy, not advice. A true friend will speak to you with love and encouragement, not with the intent to tear you down or make you feel small. Their guidance will uplift, not cast shadows over your achievements. Remember the words of Philippians 2:3-4. Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility value others above yourselves, not looking to your own interests, but each of you to the interests of the others. This is the spirit of true friendship, true advice. The spirit of jealousy, however, is the opposite. It seeks to elevate itself at the expense of others. It thrives on comparison, on the belief that if someone else is winning, then they must be losing. It is easy to dismiss these actions as harmless. Oh, they were just trying to help, you might say. But you must understand, when someone consistently criticizes your success in this way, it is a reflection of their inner turmoil. They cannot bear to see you succeed without feeling less than. Their criticisms aren't about you. They are about their inability to cope with their own self-doubt. As C.S. Lewis once remarked, pride gets no pleasure out of having something, only out of having more of it than the next man. This perfectly encapsulates the root of jealousy. It is not the accomplishment itself that bothers the jealous person. It is the fact that someone else has achieved something that they have not. Instead of celebrating the success of others as a source of inspiration, they twist it into something that makes them feel inferior. They compare, they criticize, and they attempt to pull others down to their level. So, how do we respond to this? The first step is to recognize it for what it is. Don't internalize the criticism. Don't let it chip away at your self-worth or make you doubt your decisions. If someone's advice feels more like a judgment, then it probably is, and you are not obligated to accept it. You don't have to explain yourself to them. You don't have to justify your achievements. Your success speaks for itself. It is the result of your hard work, your perseverance, and your faith in God's guidance. And in the face of this subtle criticism, remember that you are not here to compete with others. Your success is not a zero-sum game. You are not trying to outshine anyone. You are simply walking the path that God has set for you, and no one's jealousy can take that from you. When jealousy rears its ugly head, stand firm. Keep moving forward. Continue to pursue your goals with faith and integrity. And let those who seek to undermine you fall away. You are not here to please them. You are here to fulfill your purpose, and nothing can take that away. In life, there are few things more painful than discovering that someone you trusted, someone you considered a friend, is secretly harboring feelings of jealousy toward you. It is a bitter pill to swallow, one that stings far deeper than any outward criticism. When someone wears the mask of friendship, yet behind your back they are plotting to bring you down, it is a betrayal that cuts to the core. And it happens more often than we care to admit. The truth is, jealousy can disguise itself in many ways. It doesn't always come from strangers or acquaintances. Often, it emerges from the very people you hold dear. These individuals may smile in your face, offer warm words of encouragement, and act as though they are your greatest supporters. But when you leave the room, when your back is turned, their true feelings are exposed. They speak behind your back, gossiping and whispering about your successes in ways that tarnish your reputation. In the quiet corners of your life, when you are not around to defend yourself, these friends, these so-called allies, will whisper slander and spread lies. It is not your success that they wish to celebrate. It is your downfall that they long for. They cannot bear to see you rise, and so they resort to undermining your progress in any way they can. It is as if, by speaking ill of you, they can diminish the light that shines so brightly in your life. As C.S. Lewis once said, "Great minds discuss ideas. Average minds discuss events. Small minds discuss people." When someone focuses their attention on tearing down others, gossiping about them, or plotting against them, it speaks not to the character of the person they are targeting, but to the smallness of their own mind. They are not interested in ideas or progress. They are trapped in a cycle of envy and bitterness, unable to celebrate the success of others because they are too consumed by their own inadequacies. These are the people who will smile at you, all the while wishing that they could have what you have. They want your accomplishments, your recognition, your peace of mind, but they are unwilling to do the hard work to earn them themselves. Instead, they will try to tear you down. They will undermine your credibility, distort your words, and sow seeds of doubt in the minds of those around you. In their eyes, your success is a threat, and they cannot allow you to outshine them. The Bible speaks directly to this in Ecclesiastes 4:4. "And I saw that all toil and all achievement spring from one person's envy of another. This too is meaningless, a chasing after the wind. Jealousy is rooted in envy, and envy is a destructive force. It consumes the jealous person from within, turning their thoughts and actions away from growth, and instead fixated on comparison and competition. They cannot accept that someone else has succeeded. They cannot bear to acknowledge that others have worked hard and earned their place. Instead, they diminish the accomplishments of others to make themselves feel better, to reassure themselves that they are not as far behind as they truly feel. But we must not allow their envy to shape our response. When you discover that someone has been speaking ill of you behind your back, don't take it personally. Don't allow their actions to make you doubt yourself. Remember, their jealousy is not a reflection of your worth. It is a reflection of their inability to accept their own reality. Their bitterness is rooted in their own fears and regrets, not in your success. You are not responsible for their feelings, nor should you internalize their hurtful words. When faced with this kind of betrayal, it is easy to want to confront the person, to call them out and demand an explanation. But C.S. Lewis offers wisdom here as well, reminding us that you don't have a soul. You are a soul. You have a body. The soul is the essence of who you are. It is not defined by the opinions of others or the betrayals of those around you. Your soul is anchored in something far deeper, in your relationship with God and in the purpose He has set before you. And no matter how deeply someone tries to wound you, they cannot touch the essence of who you are. When you recognize jealousy for what it is, whether it comes from a friend, a family member, or a colleague, you must be vigilant. It is not about them. It's not about their judgment of your worth. It is about their struggle with their own insecurities. And in these moments, you must remember your true worth. You are not defined by their gossip, their criticism, or their envy. You are defined by your faith in God, by your actions, and by the love you extend to others, even those who seek to hurt you. The Bible instructs us to love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. Matthew 5:44. This is not a call to weakness or passivity. It is a call to strength, to spiritual maturity. When jealousy strikes, when betrayal rears its ugly head, it is your opportunity to rise above the pettiness and choose grace over retaliation. You do not need to stoop to their level or seek revenge. You simply need to continue living your life with integrity, remaining true to your purpose, and trusting that God will handle the rest. It is difficult, yes. It is painful to realize that those you trusted are the very ones trying to tear you down. But take heart. Their jealousy cannot diminish your success. Their envy cannot take away your achievements. And no matter how much they try to undermine you, you can continue to shine with the light that God has given you. In the face of betrayal, remember this: your worth is not determined by the opinions of others. It is determined by the Creator of the universe, who knows your heart and who has placed a unique calling upon your life. When you stay focused on that calling, when you protect your heart from the toxic influence of jealousy, you will find peace that surpasses all understanding. It is easy to fall into the trap of thinking that life is a competition. In a world that thrives on comparison, where every accomplishment is measured against someone else's success, it is no surprise that many people treat their lives as if they are competing in a race, constantly striving to outdo the person next to them. But this is a lie. Life is not a competition. It is a journey, one that is uniquely your own, and no one else's path should ever define your worth or your progress. Yet, jealousy often manifests in the form of competition. There are those who seem incapable of celebrating your victories without immediately attempting to surpass them. You achieve something, whether it is a small milestone or a grand accomplishment, and suddenly they are right there beside you, trying to one-up your success. You buy a new car, and they buy an even fancier one. You travel to a beautiful place, and they follow, trying to outdo your experience with something even more extravagant. It's as if they are constantly in a race with you, seeking to prove that they are better, more successful, or more deserving than you are. The Bible speaks to this unhealthy desire for comparison in Galatians 6:4-5. Each one should test their own actions. Then they can take pride in themselves alone, without comparing themselves to someone else. For each one should carry their own load. This passage reminds us that life is about personal growth, not competition. You are not here to outperform anyone else. You are here to fulfill the unique calling that God has placed on your life, and no one else's achievements can take that from you. When you measure your worth against others, you lose sight of the path God has set before you. Jealousy, in its most damaging form, convinces others that if you succeed, they must somehow be failing. They see your progress as a threat, and in their minds, the only way to feel better about their own situation is to beat you at your own game. But this mindset is both misguided and destructive. Life is not about outshining others. It is about shining your own light in the way that God intended. Your success is not a threat to anyone, nor should it be viewed as a reason for someone else to compete with you. As C.S. Lewis so wisely put it, pride gets no pleasure out of having something, only out of having more of it than the next man. When we succumb to the desire to compete with others, we fall prey to this kind of pride. It becomes less about achieving something meaningful and more about ensuring that others cannot surpass us. But this is not the way of the kingdom of God. True success is not about surpassing others. It is about fulfilling the purpose that God has given you and using your talents and resources for His glory. If you find yourself constantly surrounded by people who try to compete with you at every turn, it can feel exhausting. You might wonder if they are ever genuinely happy for you, or if their support is only contingent upon their ability to win over you. It can be tempting to view these actions as a reflection of your own inadequacies or failures, But the truth is, their behavior is rooted in their own insecurity. Their desire to compete with you is not a reflection of your worth, but of their inability to accept their own unique place in life. The constant striving to one-up others is a dangerous game, one that only serves to breed resentment, discontent, and strife. It distracts us from the true goal of life, to serve God, to love others, and to become the person He created us to be. Instead of focusing on outshining those around us, we should be focused on being the best version of ourselves, living according to the values and principles that God has given us, and supporting others in their journey as well. When you feel the pressure of competition from others, remind yourself that you are not in a race. You are not here to compare yourself to anyone else. You are here to fulfill the specific purpose that God has laid out for you, and your journey is yours alone. No one else's success diminishes your own, and your victories are not made smaller by the achievements of others. In fact, when you focus on your own path, you will find that there is plenty of room for everyone to succeed. The world does not run out of blessings, and the more you focus on your own calling, the more you will find that your success is not a threat to anyone else. In the end, the only competition that matters is the one within yourself. The challenge to become the person you are meant to be, to grow in faith, to develop your gifts, and to serve others with love and humility. This is the race we are called to run, the race that has eternal significance, the one that is not measured by worldly standards, but by the heart's pursuit of God's purpose. When jealousy creeps into your life in the form of competition, remind yourself that you are not running against anyone. You are running the race that God has set before you, and that race is uniquely yours. Keep your focus on Him and let go of the desire to compare, to compete, or to outshine. Your success is not measured by the achievements of others, but by the faithfulness with which you pursue your own path. Have you ever been in a conversation where someone simply cannot let you speak? Every time you share your triumphs, your struggles, or even just a small personal achievement, the conversation somehow always shifts back to them. It's as though no matter what you say, it's never enough for them. The moment you express something positive, they have to one-up you with something bigger or more impressive from their own life. It's as if your success is not something they can genuinely appreciate. No, for them, everything must be about them. This is a clear sign of jealousy in its more subtle form, when someone constantly makes everything about themselves. Jealousy has a way of distorting relationships, especially when it manifests in this selfishness. You begin to feel that your own experiences and accomplishments are not seen as valuable. Instead, they are merely a stepping stone for someone else to highlight their own importance. The Bible speaks directly to this behavior in Philippians 2:3-4. Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility value others above yourselves, not looking to your own interests, but each of you to the interests of the others. The message here is simple yet profound. True humility is found in placing the needs, joys, and successes of others above our own. Jealousy, on the other hand, operates in direct opposition to this. It twists the heart so that we cannot celebrate another person's success without feeling the need to turn it into a competition. It whispers to the jealous heart, your success is not enough unless it is greater than theirs. It's easy to overlook these moments, to dismiss them as simple miscommunication or a lack of self-awareness. But when you find yourself constantly being interrupted, constantly being made to feel as though your achievements pale in comparison to someone else, it's time to pause and reflect. The jealousy that manifests in these moments is often driven by insecurity. The jealous person struggles to find value in their own accomplishments, so they deflect by diminishing yours. Their need to overshadow you stems not from a lack of appreciation for you, but from a deep fear of inadequacy. As C.S. Lewis wisely said, most people do not listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply. The person who cannot allow you space to share your experiences is not listening to understand you. They are listening to find a way to steer the conversation back to themselves, to highlight their own successes, and to make sure they remain the focus of attention. This is not the behavior of a true friend or a supportive individual. It is the behavior of someone who is wrestling with their own sense of worth. It can be hurtful when someone repeatedly makes every conversation about them, especially when you are seeking validation or connection. After all, relationships are meant to be mutual. True friendship is based on shared experiences, where each person values the other and celebrates their joys. But jealousy warps this dynamic. It turns the relationship into a battleground where everyone must fight for attention and recognition. The jealous person does not see your success as something worth celebrating. They only see it as a challenge to their own sense of self-worth. In these moments, we must remember that the problem lies not with us, but with them. Their jealousy is a reflection of their own struggle, their own insecurities, and their inability to rejoice in the success of others. Their selfishness comes from a place of fear, not of you, but of their own perceived inadequacies. And while it is painful to endure, we must not allow their behavior to dictate our emotions or our sense of value. The Bible calls us to love and serve others, to consider the interests of others above our own. This is the opposite of jealousy. When someone is constantly trying to turn the conversation back to themselves, it is a sign that they are not considering your interests. They are not celebrating your successes. They are only concerned with their own. And this is the trap that jealousy sets, a trap that makes it impossible to truly connect with others, because the jealous heart is too preoccupied with comparison and competition to be able to genuinely rejoice in the victories of others. But we are called to a higher standard. As C.S. Lewis once reminded us, true humility is not thinking less of yourself. It is thinking of yourself less. When we can celebrate the successes of others without feeling threatened, when we can listen without the intent to reply, we show the love of Christ. We reflect his heart, which is always open to others, always ready to rejoice in their victories, and never threatened by their success. So, when you find yourself surrounded by people who constantly turn every conversation back to themselves, take a step back and evaluate the situation. Recognize it for what it is, jealousy in disguise. Understand that their inability to listen or celebrate you has nothing to do with your worth and everything to do with their own struggles. And then continue to focus on your own path, on your own growth, and on your own relationship with God. Do not let their selfishness steal your joy or diminish your accomplishments. Remember, your success is yours alone, and you are called to celebrate it with a heart full of gratitude, knowing that it is a gift from God. Have you ever shared a significant accomplishment with someone, only to have them dismiss it as though it were nothing? You've worked hard, poured your time and energy into a goal, and when you finally achieve it, there is someone who brushes it off with a comment like, "Oh, that wasn't so hard," or "I could have done that too." At first, you might try to shrug it off, but deep down, the sting remains. Their words are casual. They are an attempt to minimize your success, to make you feel as though your efforts were insignificant. This is another manifestation of jealousy, when someone cannot bear to acknowledge your hard-earned victory, and instead belittles it to make themselves feel better. It is not enough that you have accomplished something. No, they must downplay it, make it seem as though you didn't deserve the praise, that it was somehow too easy for you. They do this not because they are indifferent to your success, but because they are threatened by it. The Bible speaks directly to this behavior in Ecclesiastes 4:4, and I saw that all toil and all achievement spring from one person's envy of another. This too is meaningless, a chasing after the wind. Jealousy thrives on comparison. When someone is envious of what you've achieved, they cannot stand to see you succeed without trying to diminish it. They cannot accept that you worked hard and earned your place. Instead, they minimize your effort to make themselves feel better, to convince themselves that they could have done the same thing, that your success was nothing more than luck. But here's the truth. Their belittling words are not about you. They are about them. They are a reflection of their own insecurities, their own fears, and their inability to accept that your achievements do not diminish their worth. In fact, it's their own fear of inadequacy that drives them to belittle others. When they see you succeed, they are reminded of their own unfulfilled dreams, their own lack of progress, and instead of using your success as motivation to better themselves, they try to make it seem less significant. They want to reduce your achievement to something trivial so that it doesn't remind them of their own perceived shortcomings. But let me ask you this. Does their inability to celebrate your success change the reality of your accomplishment? Does their belittling alter the hard work and dedication you poured into your goal? Of course not. Your achievements are valid. They are the result of your efforts, and no amount of jealousy can take that away from you. Their comments may sting for a moment, but they hold no true power unless you allow them to. C.S. Lewis once wrote, "Pride gets no pleasure out of having something, only out of having more of it than the next man." This quote perfectly captures the essence of jealousy. It is not your success that bothers the jealous person. It is the fact that they haven't achieved the same. When they belittle your accomplishments, it's not about you. It's about them feeling less than. They cannot stand to see someone else succeed, because it reminds them of what they have not done, what they have not achieved. And so, they make your victory seem smaller than it really is. It can be difficult to ignore this kind of behavior, especially when it comes from someone you care about. When someone you trust diminishes your success, it can feel like a betrayal. But in these moments, it is important to remember that their words are not a reflection of your worth. They are a reflection of their own internal struggles. Their jealousy is their problem, not yours. When faced with this kind of belittling behavior, the best thing you can do is to continue moving forward. Do not let their words diminish your joy or make you doubt your own success. Recognize that their belittling is not about you. It is about their inability to cope with their own insecurities. Instead of engaging with their negativity, rise above it. Continue to celebrate your victories, no matter how small or large they may seem. You earned them, and no one can take that away from you. In the end, the jealous person's attempts to belittle you will only expose their own lack of peace. They are not at peace with their own journey, and that is why they try to downplay yours. But you are called to something higher. You are called to embrace your accomplishments with humility, to acknowledge the hard work that went into them, and to celebrate them as a gift from God. Remember, your success is yours. It does not depend on anyone else's approval. And no matter how much others try to minimize it, your achievements stand as a testament to your dedication, your perseverance, and your faith in God's plan for your life. One of the most subtle and insidious ways jealousy manifests is through a sense of guilt. Guilt for succeeding, guilt for achieving, guilt for simply living out your purpose. It is an uncomfortable feeling that often arises when you achieve something significant, while others around you seem to be struggling. The jealous person may not express their envy directly, but their actions can leave you with an underlying sense of shame. They will subtly imply that your success is unjust, that you shouldn't have it so easy, or that you are somehow wrong for succeeding when they are still fighting to make ends meet. This is a toxic form of jealousy, one that can make you feel as though you must apologize for your progress, for your hard work, or even for your happiness. It whispers lies into your heart, convincing you that you should feel guilty for achieving what you have earned. But let me be clear, success is not something to be ashamed of. Success is a reflection of your dedication, your effort, and your trust in God's timing. When you achieve something, it is not a reflection of someone else's failure. It is a reflection of your perseverance and your faith. The Bible addresses this concept of jealousy and guilt in Proverbs 14:30. A heart at peace gives life to the body, but envy rots the bones. Envy, when allowed to take root, becomes a destructive force. It causes the jealous person to project their insecurities onto others, making them feel guilty for living their life, for excelling in their endeavors, or for following their path to success. But this guilt is not your burden to carry. It is not your fault that you succeeded. Your achievements are the fruits of your labor, the result of your hard work, and the manifestation of the gifts and talents that God has entrusted to you. As C.S. Lewis wisely stated, pride gets no pleasure out of having something, only out of having more of it than the next man. Jealousy thrives on comparison, and the jealous person measures their worth by how they compare to others. When you succeed, they see it not as a victory in itself, but as a reminder of what they have not achieved. Their guilt is their problem, not yours. If you ever find yourself feeling guilty for succeeding, remind yourself of this truth. Success is not a sin. Hard work is not a sin. Following God's plan for your life is not a sin. You have every right to celebrate your victories, to take pride in your accomplishments, and to continue striving for excellence. Your success is a testimony of your growth, your perseverance, and your commitment to fulfilling the purpose that God has set before you. Don't let anyone make you feel as though you should apologize for that. When jealousy presents itself in the form of guilt, it is important to recognize it for what it is, a tactic to undermine your confidence, to make you doubt your worth, and to diminish the value of your achievements. Do not allow the guilt of others to weigh you down. You have nothing to be ashamed of. The path that God has laid before you is yours to walk, and no amount of jealousy can take that from you. Remember the words of C.S. Lewis. You are not your own. You are bought with a price. Your worth is not determined by the opinions of others or by their jealousy. It is determined by the one who created you, the one who has given you the gifts and talents that allow you to achieve and succeed. When you walk in the light of God's love and grace, you have no reason to feel guilty for fulfilling His plan for your life. And as you continue on your journey, let go of the guilt that jealousy tries to impose upon you. Walk confidently in the knowledge that your success is a gift from God, a testament to your faith, and a reflection of your hard work. Protect your peace. Recognize jealousy for what it is, and remember that your success does not diminish anyone else's worth. It simply reflects your faithfulness to God's call. As we reflect on the journey of recognizing and dealing with jealousy, one powerful truth becomes clear. We are not responsible for the jealousy or insecurities of others, but we are responsible for how we respond to them. Jealousy can manifest in many ways, through criticism, competition, belittling, or guilt. But each of these is rooted in fear and insecurity. When we encounter jealousy, we must remember that it is not about us. It is about the other person's struggle with their own sense of worth. To protect our peace, we must remain focused on our path, understanding that our success is a result of our hard work, perseverance, and God's guidance. We must not allow jealousy to diminish our joy or make us feel guilty for succeeding. Instead, we should celebrate our accomplishments, stay true to our purpose, and continue to move forward with confidence. If this story has resonated with you, share your thoughts in the comments below. How do you deal with jealousy in your own life? Have you encountered these signs in those around you? We'd love to hear your experiences. And don't forget to subscribe to the C.S. Lewis channel for more inspiring content that will help you on your journey to a deeper and more meaningful relationship with God.